Welcome to John Essex Sports Channel, where we're going to go through League One predictions for game week 6. And I actually did a championship one last week where we got 7 correct results and 5 correct scores. And I'm really buzzing about that. So we're going to go on. And it was all thanks to you lot and looking through what you were thinking and trying to work out where we think these scores are going to go. We're going to do the same again here, and we're going to start with yet another ex-championship game from last season, Cardiff versus Plymouth. Now, Cardiff with their last 6 of win, draw, win. One of those was a Rotherham United home win, 3-0. Could have been 4 or 5. This defence is absolutely great, isn't it? How many have they let in 6 games? They've let one. They've let 2 in 6 games. This defence is good. It doesn't actually stop the opposition from shooting, but it is making it as difficult as it can for them to be likely to get it in the net. And the reason why I say that, Cardiff 1-0 away at Luton. Luton got 38% possession, but they got 22 shots off at target and 6 of them on target, which, for a team that's only let in two goals this season, Cardiff, you have to wonder how on earth they're getting away with it. 6 on target. You would have expected a team like Luton of their skill to be able to get at least 1, possibly 2 of those in the net. But 62% possession for Cardiff, 16 shots, 3 on target, 1 in the net. And this is the difference with this Cardiff side. They're good up front. They can score. Yeah, the last 2 games have been wins, 1-0. 1-0 away to Wimbledon, 1-0 away at Luton. However, I do believe that Cardiff side has the ability to put multiple different teams up and actually get a really good scoring front end, which I don't see with the Plymouth side. Lose, win, lose, win. There are 2 wins though. The first win was again in the Carabao Cup against QPR, 3-2, and at home. They played, as they have been doing, a good championship football. Guys, girls, you can't play championship football in League One. Doesn't work. Rotherham have proven it. You just cannot do it. You have to drop back down to a sort of League One standard, because as soon as you got the ball, you don't get the space to play in it. You immediately get 1 or 2 or even 3 people trying to tackle you for the ball. So you can't do that in League One. And that's what Plymouth have got to learn really, really quickly. I think they will. Look, if we look at the Blackpool game, it's stereotypical of the Plymouth way of play here. Plymouth had 59% possession, 14 shots, 3 on target, 1 in the net. They can be really clinical up front, Plymouth, and they often shoot quite a lot. However, there tends to be a lot of not quite concentrating on getting it on target. It seems to be a lot of just give it a quick kick and hope somehow that it's on target and a good shot into the top corner. They did stop Blackpool from getting too many chances. 2 shots on target for Blackpool. However, we know Blackpool can shoot. We know they can take you on the break. They can get shots off. That I would have expected more like 14, 15 shots from Blackpool, but they only got total shots of 9. I think that this just shows that the Plymouth side can do some very good defensive work. However, they make mistakes, this Plymouth team at the back, and it shows you when you look at the goals against. 3 goals against them at Barnsley, 2 goals against them at Bolton, 2 goals against them when they won it at home to QPR, 3 goals against them away at Lincoln, 1 goal against them at Leyton Orient, at home to Leyton Orient, and the last time out, first clean sheet. You have to worry about this back end making the mistakes it does. although they are now trying to plug the mistakes at the back. So they're trying to improve that defence in the last few days of the transfer window. I hope for the fans' sake it works, because it's a shame to see them come down and still and have this sort of poor back end when they're so good up front. So Cardiff versus Plymouth, what are you saying? 3-0, 1-0, 1-0. I'm going to go with you. I think that you're probably right. I think that this Plymouth side could score, and I think it could be actually 1-0 either way, or even a 1-1. I can't see a great deal of goals. If there is more than one goal, it's going to be Cardiff, I think, in this case. We're going to go with the Cardiff 1, Plymouth 0, and we move on to my side. Rotherham United are playing at Doncaster. Now, Doncaster, in the last 6, win, draw, lose, win. We've got to remember that the draw was against Wycombe Wanderers at home, 1-1, and that the defeat was away at Huddersfield Town 2-0, and Huddersfield they've recruited an excellent set of players there. Once they start firing, that side of Huddersfield's is going to be immense, I think, and it's going to be possibly one of the top 2 finishers now for me. Last time out, Doncaster, Port Vale 1-0 win. Now, Port Vale played good in bits. They played meh in bits. So this was a Doncaster side that probably should have won by a few more, but in the end, neither of them really seemed to want to lose it. So we only had 4 shots on target in the entire game, 3 to Port Vale, only 1 to Doncaster, and of course it went in the net. Port Vale, though, 13 shots, but you would expect that at home, the crowd behind you, and the right playing style, I think, against Doncaster. It played in, I think the styles and the formations played towards Port Vale there, but 13 shots to Port Vale, 3 on target, none in the net. 6 shots to Doncaster, 1 on target, 1 in the net. I think in this particular game, it was Doncaster who just happened to get the most out of the bits of that game where they were playing really well. So Doncaster, Rotherham. Rotherham, we have 1 game less, so 5 games: win, lose, draw, lose, draw. Our attackers are being wiped out with injuries. As I've said, several others, we have lots of injuries. We won't go into the reasons why on that one. Last time out, we actually played really well. The first good Rotherham performance for me. Rotherham 2, Wigan 2. 88 minutes, and Paul Mullin managed to get an equaliser for Wigan. I think we actually deserved a win there, but we'll take a draw because it was a good performance. Rotherham United, 47% possession, 12 shots, 5 of them on target, 2 in the net. But you have to look at that defence. 54% possession we allowed Wigan, 13 shots more than us. 5 shots on target, the same amount, and 2 in the net, same amount. If you're going to attack, you have to still have a good defence if you want to do well in this league. Otherwise, you're going to be one of those bottom 2/3. For me, the Rotherham side needs a little bit more in defence. I think we've now done the attack. I think we certainly. I mean, Sheriff was brilliant. And the guy we've loaned from Cardiff, actually, although he's not one for scoring goals, even though he's called a striker, he played out of his skin. So he really was a good creator of chances. So what are you saying here? 2-1, 2-0, 1-0. I'll probably go... In fact, no, I'm going to change it at the last minute. I'm going to go with... Doncaster 2, Rotherham 1. I think that we will score, and I think Sheriff will score his second goal after getting his debut goal last time out against Wigan. I think we will score, and we may even score first, but we again, as per Wigan, will probably lose it close to the end. I can see Rotherham's year turning round quite soon, but just not yet. And that Doncaster side, yeah, it's only lost points against Wycombe and Huddersfield, two very good, classy, clinical sides in their own way. So where do we go next? We go Barnsley versus Huddersfield. Now, Barnsley versus Huddersfield, we have Barnsley, of course, the opening 3-1 win away to Plymouth. Good performance there. Followed up by a rather tricky win at home against Burton 3-2. And this is what I'm saying. Sometimes it's been a sort of up and down period for Barnsley. They've been showing what they can do, but then they keep just doing odd games which you really didn't expect. Win, draw, win, lose. The last time out, a loss against Wimbledon, and to be quite honest, I thought Wimbledon did a really good job. And we keep saying Wimbledon have a damn good defence. They did show that every time Barnsley got the ball, that we had an immediate pullback of defence. But it didn't happen all the time in this game against Barnsley. Wimbledon were actually beatable at the back. Just Barnsley didn't actually manage to do very well in that set. It was quite even, although Barnsley had the most of the play. They had 61% possession, 16 shots to Wimbledon, 15 to Barnsley, 5 on target for Wimbledon, 3 on target for Barnsley, Wimbledon managed to win this one with, I thought, relative ease. I really did. Barnsley, realistically, I think should have done better than this, and I think that they'll be the fans that went home this last weekend thinking, yeah, we really should have at least got a goal there, and really, we shouldn't be letting Wimbledon score 2 against us, because Barnsley have got a really good side. So Huddersfield, then we'll go to the right games. Win, draw, lose, win. The game for me that shows this side up for what it is actually the defeat away to Blackpool. So win, a draw against Leicester 2-2 in the cup, and then a 3-2 defeat to Blackpool. Lots of shots in either direction. It was just who was going to be more clinical in that game. Stevenage was the last game. Of course, Alfie May scored for Huddersfield. Who else? To make it 1-0 to Huddersfield. Huddersfield 61% possession, 12 shots, 6 on target, 1 in the net. They'll be quite disappointed at that. They really should have been scoring at least 2 or 3 in this game, and they should have done if you look at it. Realistically, they should have scored 2 or 3. However, Stevenage, there was a lot of good goalie performances in this last Saturday. Some absolutely cracking goalkeeper performances, as you'll hear from the review if you play that video. 11 shots to Stevenage. With 39% possession. So Huddersfield's back end, again, just like at Blackpool, allowing the opposition to see the sight of goal. Of those 11, 4 of them were on target, none in the net. Stevenage will actually be thinking, why on earth did we not get 1 goal? We could have got a draw from this, and I think they realistically could have. It's just that they just, on the day, the Huddersfield side just managed to keep them out, and the goalkeepers here were a class act, I think, and that's why this ended up 1-0. So it's a difficult game, this one, because I can see both of these teams can do a good turn up front. Like I said, against Wimbledon, 15 shots for Barnsley, and these two sides, it's almost a repeat of the Blackpool game, and I'm a little bit worried that that's what we're going to get at Barnsley, that we're going to get something like a 3-2, and I'm actually thinking that of the pair of them, Huddersfield have started to just click. And I'm what are you saying? 1-1. 1-0, 0-2. So you go in both sides of the fence. I'm going to go with. I'm actually going to go with Barnsley. Barnsley 2, Huddersfield 3. I am going to go with a similar score to the Blackpool one. In reverse this time for the Huddersfield. This time I think they'll win 3-2. And we'll go on to the next game, which is Blackpool versus Bolton Wanderers. Now, Blackpool are they've actually got a good side. I like this Blackpool side. However, lose, win, lose. The only win, is the game I've just been mentioning about. Lots of shots on target, and it really was just a goal fest waiting to happen. Both sides are used to, up to that point, we're used to just firing at will. And great game to watch. Again, it was almost like a goalkeeper a goalkeeper fest, wasn't it? Everybody's watching how good the goalkeepers were. Plymouth Argyle, last time out, 1-0 defeat for Blackpool. And I must admit, I'm thinking this Blackpool side didn't quite want. It's as if they didn't want to, like I said before, it's as if they didn't want to lose this game, because we know they can shoot, and yet 41% possession for Blackpool, only 9 shots in the entire game. One every 10 or 11 minutes. Only 2 of those on target, and they lost 1-0. Is that a tactical error? Or was it just brilliance by Plymouth? This is a good Blackpool side. It is a good Blackpool side. Let's not underestimate what that Blackpool side can do. It can be up there in the top 6. It should be with a side like what they've built there. But so should Bolton. They're playing Bolton. Lose, win, draw. 4 draws in a row. Sheffield Wednesday 3-3, Barnsley 1-1, Reading 1-1, and Lincoln City 1-1. And when you look at the last game for Blackpool, 1-0 to Plymouth. Oh dear. Look, this Bolton side, they're used to just bursting up the building from the back and getting some really good shots on goal, like they did against Birmingham last season. 18 shots, 74% against Lincoln. 6 of them on target. They were. The Lincoln City goalkeeper was absolutely phenomenal. How on earth they didn't? They equalised Bolton in 90 plus 7 minutes, and from an own goal. They didn't even score it. So this was an amazing game. I thought Blackpool should have walked it. You look at the game, they should have walked it. The Lincoln City goalkeeper, the Lincoln City fans would have been walking away thinking, how the hell do we get 1 point from that one? But they did. Run of the green. On a different day, they would have won that 4 or 5-0, but I'm afraid didn't happen, did it? They're playing a Blackpool side, of course, that got that 1-0 defeat last time out at Plymouth. Neither of these teams have really done very well. In fact, the only win here for Blackpool is the Huddersfield game, 3-2 at home, and the only win for Bolton is the 2-0 home win against Plymouth Argyle. So they've both beaten a really good opposition, and this is it. Just shows you that both of these teams can do this. What are you saying? 1-3, 0-1, and 0-2. I just think that the only defeat that Bolton have done has been that 2-0 defeat away at Stockport County. And that actually, okay, their defence is a little bit rocky sometimes, like it was at Sheffield Wednesday, but it's a different style of play up there in the Championship. Do we take that into account? Possibly not. I think that the defence at Blackpool can be quite rocky, can't it? 3-2 at home to Huddersfield win, and a defeat against Exeter 4-1, and a defeat against Stevenage at home 2-3. So I think I'm going to go with Bolton here, and I'm going to go with Blackpool 0, Bolton 2. And we go on to one of the games that I'm quite interested in. Bradford versus Wimbledon. Wimbledon have a really good defence right at the back. It has been not as good over the last game or two. Similarly with Bradford, I think Bradford's game at the back has been a little bit more in depth, a little bit wider defensive position that they take up than Wimbledon's. However, as Dortmund signed Chelsea forward, it's a little bit more solid, but again, the Bradford's defence seems to have been a little bit more open to being attacked in the recent games. Bradford's last game, for instance, was against Peterborough. Peterborough won, Bradford won, and this game it's one of those games where I thought it was quite even. However, Peterborough really should have made more of more when they had the ball. For me, there was very little highlights from Peterborough because there wasn't that much for them to show. They had the ball. They made twice as many passes nearly than Bradford. But Bradford, when they had it, did a lot more with it, getting straight into the opposition's box and at least having a shot. Peterborough did let Bradford have 39% possession, 16 shots at target though. So Bradford can use and have been using a lower proportion of the game as far as possession-wise, but they've actually been doing a lot with it all the way through. So this Bradford side is going to find it a little bit tough. It's going to be a game of defensive. It's going to be a game of defences. Wimbledon, though, haven't they been doing well? Because they've actually been showing me that they can't just defend. They can actually attack, because they had no shots against in that first defeat against Luton Town, where Luton got won 1-0 from an own goal. After that, it was lose, win, draw, win, lose, win. They've been doing absolutely brilliantly. It's a side that everybody put down near the bottom. But Wimbledon, 39% possession against Barnsley, but they made an awful lot of it, didn't they? Didn't they play really well? Kept the ball, managed to get into a shooting position. Barnsley let them get into a shooting position. 16 shots for Wimbledon, 5 of them on target, 2 in the net. They've all of a sudden started showing in the last 2 or 3 games that Wimbledon can actually score as well. They can actually shoot. They can actually get it in the net. And so, whereas people were thinking, but they're going to park the bus in every game, not have any shots, and they're going to be finishing in the bottom 4. And they've proven to us they actually can do this, and they can actually get shots and goals as well. So, Bradford versus Wimbledon, 2-1, 1-1, 2-0. You know, I can't help but think that their defences are going to stall each other out. I'm actually going to go for Bradford 1, Wimbledon 1, because I think that the amazing defences here will probably be the downfall of the attack of the midfield. I can see this nullifying itself out. So where to go next? We go Burton, Luton. Now Burton have they've been really unlucky, I think. They have been unlucky. It don't matter what you say. A lot of these games, they've looked like they're going to get something, and then they've just not got one. Let's go to the right month. They start with a Mansfield win at home, 2-1. Their only win. That was actually a good game for me. Neither of the teams played brilliantly, but Burton deserved their 2-1 win. Then it was a 3-2 defeat away at Barnsley. disappointed. They'll have been disappointed they didn't get a draw there. Port Vale 0-0, Tranmere 1-1, and then last time out Stockport County away 2-1 defeat. Even with Stockport County going down to 10 men, they actually played better at Stockport after they went down to 10 men, I thought. So that's one of the strange anomalies of this Stockport-Burton game. However, Burton, 20 shots, only 3 on target and 1 in the net. They really were pegged back. When they were playing well in this game, they really did play well, and they looked like they were going to be valid winners. 24 minutes taking the lead. Then they got a red card for Stockport, and they must have thought they were going to get something at last. Excuse me. But then 69 and 77 minutes, and Stockport just stole the show with 10 men. Seemingly, that sending off actually improved Stockport County. If anything, Burton seemed to play a little bit more blasé, as if we've got one man extra, so and we're sort of 1-0 up. We should be able to do this. And realistically, I think they should have been tactically perhaps a little bit naive. But that's the way that the results have been going for Burton, and a lot of them you're looking at and thinking they should have won that. They should have at least drawn that one. Yeah, absolutely. Luton Town though, win, lose, win, lose. Their wins against Wimbledon, Peterborough, and Wigan. The only really important one there, I would say, is the Wigan game. Last but one game out. A good win against a side that is starting to really tick for me and is starting to do quite well. Coming back, of course, to equalise against Rotherham at Rotherham United's ground. Luton Town 0, Cardiff 1 was the last game, and Luton at home only getting 38% possession. And that worries me because this Cardiff side isn't. It's more of a trying to get up there and take people on the break for me. They managed to get 62% possession here and hold it and win 1-0. 22 shots though from Luton, so they were doing a lot with the ball when they've got it. So when they've got it, they can do really well. A little bit worried that this side doesn't keep the ball enough. I mean, in that Wigan game, let's have a quick look, see if I'm talking rubbish here, shall we? So Luton Town 66% possession there, 13 shots. So perhaps it was just that it must be just that Cardiff team, which would be they were quite like that when they beat Rotherham. Let's look at the Bradford one then. Let's have a look at the Bradford 2, Luton 1. Luton again 62%. It was, it's just that game. I will actually change what I was thinking there, because I was thinking that they weren't overall keeping the ball enough, but they are. It was just that one darn game the last time out, which is odd because then they are shooting, they are keeping the ball, but they're not getting the results. This must be so frustrating for the Luton fans. There's no reason why they haven't won all of those games, and I'm sure that it will tick, and I'm sure that it is ticking. They're keeping the ball and they're obviously shooting. We take the Cardiff game, the last one, out of this, I think, because it was just not like that Luton side, and I think that was just a blip, a sort of one-off. In which case, I'm going to think more of this Luton side being a good side to keep the ball. It's great possession-wise. It's good possession football, keeping it in their half quite often and trying to burst out and get as many shots as possible. And they are great at getting those shots. If you can get up to 20 shots in the game, you should be winning a good proportion of them, shouldn't you? And against this Burton side, who's a bit lacklustre, last 4 games, lose, draw, lose. and they're against Barnsley, Port Vale, Tranmere Rovers and Stockport. So they're not playing the best of sides at the minute. What are you saying? 1-2, 1-2, 0-2. You know, I would have to go with you, I think, and we'll go Burton Albion 1, Luton 2. And, you know, let's see if they get like 65% possession and 20 shots again, shall we? Please do like and subscribe and give me your comments. I'd love to hear from some Luton fans, especially because of what we were saying there. I nearly got caught out by that Cardiff game. Why did that Cardiff game look so different from your perspective, Luton fans? Exeter Peterborough next, and it just shows you that last game. I do try and do this ad hoc so that I'm going through the videos after we did the review, so that I've seen the videos, I've seen the last game, and I can have a look at this and live go through it and see what I'm thinking and try. And if I get it wrong, and I like I did with the Cardiff game, we have another review. We have a quick look through the other games. And perhaps I've got that one wrong, and we'll reassess it. I'm not one for saying I'm right all the time. So yeah, we got that one wrong. Let's try and change it while we're here. And yeah, I think it's a good way of doing it. So please do like and subscribe. And like I say, give me your comments down below. Exeter versus Peterborough next. And Exeter, another one of those up and down teams. Which one is going to turn up, isn't it? Because we've got lose, win, lose, lose, win, lose. But the win against Blackpool, 4-1 at home, where did it come from? They can score, however, yeah, they can also not score. Wycombe 1-0 away, and that was a win. Yeah, that Wycombe side is good, should be up in the top 10 certainly. Last time out for the Exeter squad, a defeat 2-0 at Northampton, and they should really have been winning this one, but the Northampton keeper and the Northampton defence stood really firm and managed to reduce Exeter to just one shot at target, 3 blocked. So they really did well at keeping the Exeter side out, whilst giving them 64% possession. So Northampton holding back. You can play it as you can play it as, but you're not going to get past our final third. I believe there was some good goalkeeping in this one as well. And you have to think that Exeter are they've just not got the class for me. Exeter Mansfield, they lost against Mansfield 2-1. Mansfield, to be honest, at that point were playing pretty poor, so I'm quite interested to see how they're which team is gonna turn out, because I mean, look at the Blackpool game. Exeter 4, Blackpool 1, and we're worried about their shooting. Well, in this one, Exeter just 44% possession, and something the stats aren't actually far off here for this team. 18 shots, 7 on target, 4 in the net. They can be very clinical. They can score. They can do a hell of a lot with the ball when they've got it. And they're playing a Peterborough side that have so far lose, draw against Bradford. And to be honest, they managed to grab a draw in 90 plus 1 minutes, Peterborough. And Bradford will have gone home thinking, how on earth did we not get a draw there? But Peterborough did have 61% possession. So it's going to be a game of both sides trying to keep possession here. 12 shots though for Peterborough. So they are capable and likely to score, to at least shoot more often. 4 shots on target, 1 in the net. And this means to me that it's going to be a really tight game. I really do think this one is going to be one of those games that's it's going to be a little bit hit and miss as to which one turns up. And that's where I come from on this. I don't know if Exeter will turn up. Turned up well against Wycombe. Turned up well against Blackpool. Didn't really turn up against Mansfield. What are you saying? Oh, thank you very much, you lot. 2-1, 1-2, 1-1. I've been thinking that this Peterborough side really, it's not. It should be continuing from where it left off last season, and it did finish really well. I thought, this new style of play that they got in last season did seem to start to reap rewards, and then all of a sudden this season, lose, and a draw. I think that they will be changing this round. I think they can. I think they will. Will they do it here? I think that if Exeter do not turn up, and I've got a feeling they might not, if they turn, I think it's going to be 2-1 either way. Will Exeter turn up? I'm going to go Exeter 1, Peterborough 2. I'm going to say they don't. Exeter fans, will you turn up? Or will it be the other team that just seem to not quite get it off together? And we'll move on to the next game. The next game is Leyton Orient versus Northampton. And Leyton Orient last time out, 4-1 defeat against Mansfield. And they will have been bitterly disappointed. That sending off for me. No, not a sending off. No, and how many times do you have to roll on the floor, Mansfield player? That was you should have been given an award, given an Oscar or something. Northampton last time out, Exeter 2-0 win, as we just said, at home. Leyton Orient lose, win, lose, draw, win, lose. This is a side that's up and down. It should be playing. It has capabilities of being a top 10 side, absolutely. Mansfield game, I think it wasn't a 4-1 win really for me. Mansfield deserved the win. 4-1, that was a bit flattering. Plymouth though, they did well against Plymouth. 1-0 win before that away from home, and it just seems to be, it started poorly because it played Huddersfield 3-0 away defeat. It played what I thought was a really good, and can be a really good Wigan side home win 2-0. Then it played what's probably going to be a good Wycombe side and lost 1-0. And Stockport have been playing well, 2-2 draw, and then they go and play an ex-championship side in Plymouth and get a 1-0 win. They've been playing some really good sides, so there's no bad points in those defeats. They did play some top sides, but they should be with that side. They are capable. I think even now, even after the summer ins and outs, I think they've still got a good enough side to be getting more points than what they have. Northampton Town, we go lose, draw, lose, win. Last time out actually against Exeter, I think that Northampton Town probably, to me, a little bit lucky. 36% possession, 10 shots, which is actually quite good. 3 on target, 2 in the net. But the defence is the thing that got me against Exeter. The defence was really good, really tight. I was quite impressed by that, and it hasn't been that consistent. So can the Northampton's defence get a good, consistent defence? If they can, this Leyton Orient side may just find it a little bit hard to score, because for me that's been the problem. It's been getting the ball in the net. And that's where I think it's going to be difficult. I just think that both these sides, it's getting the ball in the net. It's just getting the ball in the net. What are you saying? 2-0, 2-0, 1-0. I'm actually going to go different from all of you. I'm going to go with Orient 0, Northampton 0. And sneak on to the next one. Lincoln Mansfield next, and Lincoln, we have win, lose, win, lose. They're doing well. They're not massive. They're not massive wins. I mean, the best win there, I think, was the scrape of a 3-2 win at home to Plymouth. Plymouth really thinking that they were going to get something for a good result for once, and then they lose it away at Lincoln City. Last time out, 1-1 against Bolton for Lincoln. So Bolton won, Lincoln won, and Lincoln really didn't have. They just seemed to be unable to get the ball, let alone keep it. 3 shots on target. 5 shots at target, 3 shots on target. Let's get it right, and 1 in the net. They'll be feeling themselves really lucky here, because their goalkeeper was absolutely brilliant, wasn't he? Can he do it again? Can this Lincoln City goalkeeper do the same again? Why not? When things start going for you, as a goalkeeper especially, it just seems to rub off, and the look seems to go with you. The look of the Irish, I can just see him doing it here. Mansfield Town, on the other hand, have actually been scored. They've got the look of the Irish as well, and they've been scoring. Lose, and then they seem to get it together. A really dull win against Chesterfield. Yeah, quite boring apparently from our man Roy. And then Exeter win 2-1, Blackpool win 2-0, and last time out the Leyton Orient win 4-1. I think they were quite lucky there, and that red card, second yellow stroke red card, not really a second yellow or red card to me. An Oscar for the Mansfield player there. It's going to be either way, this. I really can see it going either way. I can see it being a 1-0 win to Lincoln City. I can see it being a 2-0 win to Mansfield. What are you saying? 1-1, 1-0, 1-2. I'm actually going to go with one of you. I'm going to say that it's going to be Lincoln 1, Mansfield 2. It could be either way, this really could, couldn't it? And we go with Reading versus Port Vale. And Reading, we all thought that Reading would be the side to do well this season because of the takeover, because of things on field, off field. Instead, what did we get? We get a lose, win, lose, draw. Not really being. There's nothing sparking me there's no excitement in this team at the minute. Wycombe 2, Reading 2. I mean, Lewis Wing, he doesn't do short, easy knock-ins, does he? What shots he's been coming up with. You're not going to stop any of Lewis Wing's shots. Wycombe, 54% possession, 15 shots. Reading, 47% possession, 17 shots. But 6 of them on target, 2 in the net. They'll have been bitterly disappointed they didn't win that one. But Wycombe are equally as good and classy. I could see why that was a 2-2. But it's just not running for a Reading side. And it's the same for Port Vale. Port Vale lost at Rotherham 2-1. Realistically, should have been a draw because Rotherham were brilliant in the first half and Port Vale were brilliant in the second half. So lose, draw, win, draw, lose. This, for me, is a side. The home side, Reading, have to kickstart their season now. Port Vale are desperately trying to improve in all areas. But have they bitten off more than they can chew? Well, no, because they did play absolutely excellently in the second half against Rotherham. We know they can play well. What are you thinking? Reading, Port Vale, 0-1, 0-1, 0-0. I just... a lot of you are thinking that it's going to run for Port Vale. I think it's going to be 1-0 either way. And because you're going for Vale, I would probably go for Reading, but I'm going to go with you lot. This is all your fault if we lose. Reading 0, Port Vale 1. I would have probably gone for Reading, but seeing as you're going to go for Port Vale, we'll go with it. Stevenage, Wycombe next, and Stevenage, look, they've got 1 or 2 excellent players. I'm a bit worried if they get those 1 or 2 excellent players knocked out. At the minute, they're not. They're okay. Where we start with Blackpool 2-3 win away, win, lose, win, lose. the defeats against Charlton and Huddersfield. Charlton in the cup, Huddersfield in the league. They are doing really well, and they are deservedly where they are. 39% possession, but 11 shots, 4 on target, and none in the net in that game. But they'll have been disappointed. I think that they did deserve a draw there, didn't they? I'm sure they deserved a draw. Okay, they allowed Stevenage, they allowed Huddersfield to have 61% possession, but 12 shots against their 11. I think that this Stevenage side is a capable, certainly upper half team on this showing. They're playing a Wycombe side that's it's just not gelled for them yet, and I'd love to know from you guys what you think. Give me a like, subscribe, comment down below. Opening game here 6 games ago, Bradford 2-1 away defeat. So lose, win, draw, lose, draw. This is the Wycombe game at home to Reading, and we know what Reading are capable of. We know they're going to shoot a lot. To me, it was quite an even game. 6 shots on target each, 2 in the net each. This was a good upper mid-table game. It was a good, exciting game. I enjoyed it. I loved to watch it. Stevenage versus Wycombe. Where are you going? 2-0, 1-0, and 1-1. I can actually see it being that one. I'm going to go with Stevenage 2, Wycombe 0. I just think that Wycombe, they just need to get a grips of things, and to me, it's just not quite. It's not quite right for me. I think it's going to be similar game in stature to the Stockport County 2-1 home defeat. I'm going to go with that score, and then we go to the last one, which is Wigan versus Stockport. Now, Wigan Athletic, my team to do really, really well. A lot of people not knowing where they're going to put this team. Win, lose, draw, coming back in the last few minutes to equalise against Rotherham away from home. Stockport County, win, draw, lose, win. They lost against Bradford 2 games ago, Stockport, and to me, they just came up against that darn defence and just couldn't quite come away with a win there. But against Stockport against Burton, that's probably the important one. They went down to 10 men with the red card on 31. They actually played better after that. They actually did play better, didn't they? Is it only me, or is it there only me that saw that? Stockport County 46% possession, 14 shots, 5 on target, but they allowed Burton to have 20 shots at target for an away side. That is pretty damn good, but it's not for the home side. So Stockport, need to get hold and control the game. They didn't, and they were at home, so that is a little bit worrying for me. With that side, Wigan, on the other hand, have been showing little bits of we can do this, and we don't put our heads down when we're 2-1 down with 6 minutes to go. We will go for the draw, and I think this Wigan side can do this one. How many is it going to be? You're saying 2-2, 0-2, 1-2 to Stockport. See, you're all saying Stockport. I just think that for me, the Wigan side is more consistent. I'm going to go Wigan 1, Wigan 2, Stockport 1. There we are. Changed at the last minute. Do give me a like, give me a subscription, and I'll see you with the next prediction video for the championship, or in the live stream on Saturday. John S. Sports Channel, over and out. Like and subscribe.